So, at the end of the last session, you guys had a period of downtime during which you did several activities, and we recruited a new party member named Remy. Uh, you guys set about uh, protesting the pollution crisis in Kyber's Gate. Uh, sent a letter to Warnock, the city councilor who runs the upper cogs, and also provided an interview for the Sharn Inquisitive, uh, which whose fruits we may be getting to in a moment. Uh, you guys also pursued a lead regarding your new party member, Remy, who, for one reason or another, is attempting to find a necromancer for reasons he has decided not to share yet. And that led to you guys crashing a college party, I guess you could call it, and almost getting yourselves in a fight with a couple mages from the Guild of Starlight and Shadow. But conflict was narrowly avoided, and you got a foot in that proverbial door. But that was last session, and your investigation into the Guild of Starlight and Shadow has come to a halt, Remy, with recent events, which we will now get into. So we'll start the session with Jax. You're in Myriad Mysteries currently. Just a normal afternoon. Business has been slow recently, but you just got your latest copy of the Sharn Inquisitive. Began eagerly reading through it and find a giant article with the title Tornock backpedals as Dask makes their move. And the article goes into the riots down in Ashblack and talks about how Dask was involved in the riots and how there was a demand for cleaner drinking water within Kuiper's Gate, and that pressure was being put upon the city councilor Warnock, who is beginning talks with some of the members of the House Caniff within Ashblack about their pollution and whatnot. And the article ends with speculation about Dask's rising influence within the lower city, how it's beginning to look like Kyber's Gate is becoming a breakaway city, forming beneath Sharn, but not a part of it. One which is ruled by Dask. Um, and at the very end, you notice a small advertisement for Myriad Mysteries.
Oh, fucking great. Here we go. Jack, you seen this shit?
Yeah, I already read through it.
You notice how we're right at the bottom of all this?
What did you expect? For them to put you at the top of the page in the bold letters?
No, but considering it's all fucking about Dask, I'm assuming they're not going to be very happy with us.
You got what you fucking wanted. I don't know what you guys were expecting talking to the press.
It's your business.
What do you mean, my business? It's your business too. You work here, asshole.
I mean, I can only care as much as you do.
Is anybody else in the office?
Yeah, I would presume so.
Could I see that paper, please, Jax?
He like hands it over to him quickly.
She will give that a quick read. Oh, I dare say that went quite well, all things considered.
Yeah, until the upper management, the government looks at this like they're trying to secede, and they're under martial law down there. That's what that. You think the
They would
riots were
have-
something?
They would have to send watch to Kuiper's Gate in the first place to establish martial law.
Yeah.
It's not the most ideal, but the council did act. And that's no small feat of its own.
And,
Besides,
you know,
a bit of change is good for the city.
might not be all bad to be noticed. I think, you know, these Dask people, they don't seem all bad.
I'm rolling insight.
On me?
Yeah.
All right. I'm being pretty sincere right now, so
Okay.
I'm gonna roll persuasion.
I want to know. Yeah, because Jax immediately is like, what's this dude into? Here, where am I at? I didn't have my fucking page pulled up. Here we go. This time I'm not in Google Chrome, so it won't take a million years.
Oh, true. That was funny.
What are you using? Like Edge?
Yeah.
Gross.
Where's the
17.
Firefox?
Ooh, a draw.
A draw.
Okay, in this case, it's the person initiating the check who wins. Ari is essentially setting the DC for the roll, and so it's me
Yeah.
in favor of the aggressor. So
Makes sense.
Jackson-
I mean, you seem sincere.
Jackson.
Yeah, you can tell I'm being sincere, and that you probably can tell I have some ulterior motive. But you're probably not getting that I'm in Dask
Okay.
secretly. But I definitely have some ulterior motive.
Kind of give you like kind of a little side eye, like,
Are any of you going to the race this evening?
There's a race.
Yeah, you guys didn't notice all the banners and shit? It's the race of 8 wins.
Oh, yes.
About that time of year, isn't it?
Yeah, I was gonna clock out early and go watch. Any of you want to join?
No, why not?
Leave early? Leave work early? Yes.
Are we still getting paid?
Sure, whatever. It's pay time off.
Even better. Like, this is our pizza party, guys. We've been doing a good job.
Remy thinks to himself, I haven't even done any work yet.
Well, I guess we can go now. He like cracks his knuckles and stands up. I already scheduled us a pleasure craft reviewing race.
Well, that was nice of you, Jack.
I mean,
What
if
the
you
fuck?
guys weren't coming, I would have just got drunk on it on my own, but more the merrier.
Well, then we best make sure you don't stumble off the craft.
Well, it'll be fine. Come on, let's go. He stands up and walks out into the street, which you notice now that you guys are out of the office. It's actually bustling right now. Tons of people are flooding in, even to humble little underlook. You see travelers from all different sorts of locales, all different races. They looks like there's a lot of tourists passing through, but also just people from the other districts of the city. The
You
streets.
said there's like banners and stuff and everything.
Yeah, you can see
Are there
that.
like little? Are there any like little shops like like you would sell like tourist shops where they have like a certain driver's like car or hat or something like that?
Well, you do notice lots of carts being rolled out into the streets and people selling knickknacks, like little wooden carved toys of like a hippogriff or one thing or another. Street
Basically, I'm
vendors
looking for
selling.
like a Dale Earnhardt hat.
Like a merch.
Oh yeah, there's merch. There's merch. You can
Yeah.
easily like get one of the insignias of one of the racers. I don't know if you would even keep up with the race. Are you big into the race of 8 wins?
I mean, I'm a mechanic, so racing, I'm like, this is cool. I'm gonna pick a guy. So I go to the little souvenir shop and I just pick the one that I like the most and put the hat on. I'll
Got
spend
a
like two gold on a Dale Earnhardt hat or whatever.
got an insignia of a hippogriff with a rising sun behind it.
Nice.
Looks cool as hell. But yeah, Jack sort of takes you guys as you wade through the throngs of people that are getting thicker and thicker as you go up further towards the upper districts of Dura. But he takes you aside to a long bridge between two towers that has rows of sky coaches parked on them. Remy, the sky coaches are like small boat-looking things. I guess they're probably about the size of like a small boat you take out on the lake or something. Not a canoe, but like a medium-sized boat. Some of them with, you know, interiors, but some of them just have like exterior seats on them. And people are beginning to board them as they hover up into the sky, as these things are capable of flight, which is a bizarre sight to you. You're familiar with the airship that House Larandar uses. they're pretty rare. You've only seen a few of them before you came into the city, but these are entirely different from those. These are something that don't really exist outside of Sharn, as far as you know.
Are we sure that will hold me?
Oh yeah.
This
You're
thing's
not the last
massive, Remy.
Warforged. You're not the first. They can hold just about anyone, really.
Not somebody will catch you, I'm sure.
Not me.
Yes. This is gonna be fun.
It is wise to keep a feather token on you and Sean, but the sky coaches are quite safe, rest assured.
Jax is very, very nervous about this.
I have a quick
Remy
quick
is-
technical
sorry.
question. Not to interrupt roleplay, but I have a quick question.
What?
I have this ability that lets me cast a ritual spell. Instead of doing it as a ritual, I can do it. Where is it?
What's
In
the spell?
the time it takes to cast the spell. Find familiar.
I'm familiar.
Yeah.
You want to do that now?
I mean, it lasts for until it dies.
Why didn't you do that during your downtime?
I don't know, because I'm stupid.
You could have done that at any point before this. Like you didn't.
What?
You know
Why
what I think-
doesn't? Well, no. Hold on. That my question wasn't can I cast the spell per se. More. Hold on. Let me find the thing. When you cast a wizard spell as a ritual, you can use the spell's normal casting time. You regain use of this feature when you take a long rest. So, the spell's casting time
Is
if you
1
look
hour.
at Find familiar, it's instant,
No,
right?
1 hour.
He has a
Oh,
class
it literally
ability.
says casting time. Okay,
Wait,
not
what?
duration.
Scribes wizards have a ability to ritual cast instantly.
Yeah, to ritual cast instantly. That's what I just read. Yeah,
I didn't know about that.
I can do it once per long rest.
When you cast it as a ritual.
Yeah,
it was
but
kinda
the
throwing me
spell's
off.
Oh,
the
it's
spell's
not
normal
instant.
casting time is an hour though.
Okay, you
Like
can
I
Yeah,
use
think
me.
what that. Yeah, I think that works for like other rituals, like detect magic and whatnot, that
Okay,
only are in
Okay,
action to cast.
Yeah, you confused me when you said
I
instant.
see.
I was like, what? Like, does it just cheat the casting time? Yeah, so that would take an hour to cast, even with that ability.
never mind. Continue. Sorry.
I mean, if you really want to do Find
the
Familiar,
1
we
hour
could, just,
casting time threw me off. Yeah, I was like, what?
we could just have retcon that you did it.
Cool. I have a
Or-
rat.
Okay, you just wanted a rat?
Yeah, I just want a rat. It hangs out in my sleeves. Nobody knows about it.
Okay, cool. I just assume you did it sometime in the 2 weeks you had to do that.
I mean,
Uh,
technically, there's no one saying I didn't already have it done.
Exactly. Anyway, Jack hails you guys a sky coach. You all board, and he's like, "Yeah, I booked this one private. I don't like hanging out with all the fucking randos. They're kids, you know."
Not a family man, Jack.
Well, this particular cruise, and he like gestures to the man who's piloting the craft, and he brings out like a box that he cracks open, and there's several bottles of ale and wine stashed in there. This particular one is perfect for the viewing experience. He uncorks a bottle, and he's like, "It's on me if you guys want any."
That was very kind of you.
Are there like glasses on a table? I assume.
Yeah, there's some mugs. You better use those strings that are on. And you notice that like there's a loop of string dangling from each one. He's like, "You're supposed to put that around your neck so you don't like drop it off the boat.
Also, you don't drop it onto someone's head or something.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to lose it.
Remy's
Thing
gonna
is-
see that and then think to himself about his rope, pull it out, tie it around his waist, and a little bit to the bottom of the table.
Okay. Nobody stops you. You
No.
feel confident now that you are fully anchored to the crowd. But yeah, pretty soon the sky coach pulls off the side of the bridge, starts to rise up into the sky. You guys see that it is filled with other sky coaches and even some proper airships, those huge Lorandar ones with the burning rings around them, that are hovering higher up, but still with a good view over Dura. And you guys are brought up into the sky where you can see throngs of people gathering on various ledges and balconies and parapets, hoarding on the tops of the rooftops, all to get a look at the event that's about to begin. Jack points you guys towards this one tower. He's like, "That's it. That's the starting line." You can see that gathering on top of this one tower that is lower down. Uh, getting messages, but I don't know where.
I just posted some things in the chat. A couple pictures of
Are you
airship.
posting in? Where are you posting things?
Game voice chat.
There's a side chat for the voice channel. If you hover over top of it, you'll see a little open chat option next to the adding people.
I seriously didn't know that existed. I never knew that till now. Okay, nice. Anyway, yeah, you see that on this lower building on the rooftop is where the racers are gathering on their various mounts. You see all kinds of flying creatures, hippogriffs, a griffin, even spot what appears to be a giant dragonfly. And one of the racers is getting on. Various exotic creatures you probably never even seen outside of these races if you've watched one. And Jack is already getting hammered as he's watching.
I'm gonna have a drink with him, but I'm just sipping. I'm not trying to get drunk yet.
You guys putting any money on the race?
You can bet.
Yeah? That's like half the fun.
I'd put in 10 gold.
I got 100 on my guy Phoenix. I already talked to my boys down at the Burning Ring.
They're like, what are they like separate? Is it like horse races?
Well, you gotta bet on which racer you think is gonna come in first.
Yeah, but is there one who like wins a lot, so he's like 2-1, and there's one who never wins, and he's like 32-1?
My boy down there, Phoenix. I know that guy, actually. I met him before. He's ex-Sharn Watch. Used to be on the Golden Wing Brigade. I fly around on the hippogriff. He's solid. He actually won the last one. Can't go wrong with him.
Sounds like that's the one that's on your hat there.
Oh shit!
Is that right?
Yep, that's him. You a fan
Oh,
of
okay.
something?
I guess so. Yeah, we'll put some money on Finn.
His name's Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix.
What
Only
are the
other
other
one,
races?
only other one I think might be worth betting on is Klimek down there. He's a halfling. He's on one of those. I don't know what they call them, like the flying lizards. They're pretty quick. He's not one of the older racers. He's kind of new, but I've heard he's pretty quick on that thing.
I'll put 20 gold on him.
I'll drop 10 as well on the little halfling.
I got a
Alright.
bet on my dude.
Are you guys just betting with each other?
No. I was gonna. I assume there's like a desk I could go to. Right.
Well,
Like,
that
is
time
there
has
anyone
passed.
up in the air? Oh,
You guys are
well,
alone
we
on
could
this.
retroactively have bet before we came here. I've been living
I
in the
should have
city a
mentioned
while.
this at the office.
Yeah.
Just rubbing it in people's faces that he's going to win big.
Hey, it's not my fault. You guys don't know to go down to the burning. Put my bets in and way in advance.
Oh man. Well,
I mean, if you guys want to bet against each other, you can.
Yeah, I'll bet. I mean, it doesn't really work like that.
Yeah, it does.
I guess I can say that guy's not gonna win. Yeah, I'll take your bet for 20 gold.
The people who win split the pot. Nobody wins. If your guys doesn't win, if nobody wins, then just get your money back.
not opposed. Well, we can keep it small, just
Yeah, I got
10 gold between
10 bucks.
friends.
Yeah, 10 gold on Phoenix. That seems fine.
Okay, 10
All
gold
right.
it is.
Okay, Ari's got 10 gold on Phoenix?
No, the halfling.
Oh, Klimek.
Klimek, yeah.
As does Remy.
Remy's got 10 gold on Klimek. All right. And then Jax was going how much on Phoenix?
Just 10 is fine, yeah.
And
You gonna put some money in here, Mitra?
Oh no, I'll leave that to you three.
Come on, it's just a little bit of fun.
Very well, I'll put 5 on Fennec.
ooh, we got 5 on Phoenix.
Yep. Yeah, see, it'll be a good time. And I don't know if do you have a drink yet?
Yeah, she's got a bottle there.
Okay. I'll go over and fill his wine glass back up.
All right. So you guys remain there up in the air for like 30 minutes before you hear a distant horn blow. And Jack says, that's it. Race about to start. Yeah, goes over to the ledge and looks down. Like, you guys are pretty far away. Like, you're like way over like 600 feet. Like, it's like a couple football fields away from you guys. But you squint your eyes, you kind of see the individual racers. There's like little blobs down there in the distance. But you can see them all board on top of their individual mounts. that's when you hear the second horn. And all the racers immediately take off, going off the top of the rooftop and whizzing down, weaving in between several of the towers as they do. Jack looks over, he's like, I can barely see him! Like, every now and then you can see them, like, cut across the side of, like, one of the towers and start spiraling up to the top of it, going around and around, taking these extremely tight corners. And then, at some points, diving down below archways and bridges where you can see people like throwing out confetti as they pass by. It's hard to make out who the individual racers are from this perspective, but you can see that a couple are in the lead. One of those guys riding a hippogriff, that dragonfly woman, and then that halfling on the blade wing. They seem to be pulling ahead of the pack. There's like over 10 racers. You see them exchange blows with each other. Some of their mounts like crash into each other, and you see like a pair of guys go flying off their mounts and drift down to the city below. You see them take out these hand crossbows and exchange fire with each other in midair, which causes some of their mounts to lose control and drift off course. But towards the end of the race, you can see them lunging upward, going up to the very tops of the rooftop, the highest spires within Dura. And that's when you see one of the lead riders suddenly veer off course and smash their mount into the side of the building. And you can hear like audible cries from the crowd, and Jack's like, "Whoa, whoa!" And you can see this dude and his mount go careening down to the city below. He's like, "Holy shit, that was Phoenix!" And shortly after that, you can see that elvish woman and the halfling whiz by where they just collided with the building, taking the lead and soaring upwards into the sky above the towers with the elf in the lead riding the dragonfly. They're just soaring directly upwards, headed towards the district hovering above. What is the name of the district? Skyway. They're heading towards the Skyway. Up that huge floating district up on the clouds above. And then you see slowly that elf begins to fall behind, and then the halfling overtakes them and reaches the top of the Skyway first. And then after that, you guys hear a series of trumpets erupt from around the city. And you see Jack just like clutching his head in defeat. God damn it.
Hope that guy's alright.
I'm sure they're fine. However, my goal.
So So the pot for Klimek was, or the pot overall was 35 gold. So Remy and Ari, you guys get to split it.
17 and a half.
17 and a half gold each.
Yep. Nice.
I had 100 gold on Phoenix. God damn.
You
Jack
know,
just
that
starts, like,
100 gold. Is that from. That hopefully wasn't all of what we wanted for the business, Jack. That's.
He just
Oh,
starts
boy.
taking a long drink from his bottle of wine. But you guys can spend the rest of the day sailing around or getting some food, however you want to spend your evening. Did you guys have anything in particular in mind, or?
Well, given that I just won, the most appropriate thing to do when one wins gold is to spend it. I'd treat people to a nice fancy dinner. I'm sure that Ari knows some places in the city that she goes to whenever she is living her aristocratic lifestyle.
Oh yeah, just go up to the Skyway.
Well, I don't know about that.
Perfect place to go dining on your average day.
If they would allow us, I'd be down.
That whole 7.5 gold is gonna go real far.
Oh, don't worry. I'm treating.
But yeah, you guys have yourselves a lovely evening of drinks. But Jack, he seemed kind of despondent. He's like, I'm just gonna go home for the night.
You think that guy crashed out of just pure accident?
I mean, they were going very fast.
The race certainly was more violent than I was expecting.
Well, when was the last time one of these things crashed? Does this happen every year? Do I know?
I mean, you watch several of the racers crash in different ways.
Okay.
Most of the time, though, they just fall off their mounts, not crash directly into a building.
For a skilled racer, I feel like he must have been either distracted or impaired if he's going to make such a loud and frankly painful sort of crash. Sort of train you how to avoid that sort of stuff.
Is there any other business you guys had for the night?
Just have some drinks, get some food, talk about the race.
Mitra will go to the post office and send Leo a clipping of the that newspaper article. And she will write him a letter noting the contact information for the Sharn Inquisitive journalist, and tell him that he has an opportunity to bring more attention to the plight of the people in the Undercity by giving his own statement and a chance to encourage that journalist to keep the attention on where it should be, which is the people. And she also warns him very specifically not to mention the desk, because they are clearly interested in sensationalist headlines. And also tells them it's very much wholly his choice as to whether or not to talk to her.
Yeah, we should beat her up.
Okay.
Out of character, of course. I don't know anything
Okay,
about what
Commander
you're
Shepard.
doing.
Well, it'll be some time before both the letter reaches them and they have an opportunity to send you a reply. For now, that's all that. Nobody else has anything the next day. You guys have had yourselves a nice rest. Sleep off the drinks from the night prior. When you come in the office door following morning, Mitra, you're greeted by Jack, who's like asleep at the desk. Office.
She will not wake him.
Yeah, he is messed up. But anyway, a few days go by. Nothing eventful really happening. Same business as usual. Until almost a week passes without you guys receiving like any major cases. When one evening you receive a knock at the door, and Jack lets in a gentleman who looks more wealthy than anyone you've seen enter your establishment before. A tall, slender human man with finely kept short hair and a goatee. He's got dark skin. He's wearing a very luxurious looking suit that is not ostentatious, but you can tell upon examination that it is finely tailored to his body. And he wears a series of rings on all of his hands. He allows himself in.
Good
Hello.
morning. Welcome to Myriad Mysteries.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Vikar Kavolson, and I have a proposition for your organization if you are willing to accept it.
Can you put that name in the chat? That is definitely a name I have no idea how to spell.
Put it in the game.
Thank you.
Vikar Kavolson.
Well, why don't you have a seat over in that room and I'll gather the team. Quite interested to hear any prospective cases.
Excellent, but do not take too long. I have a meeting to attend very soon.
Certainly. Mitra will glance at his rings, looking for any noteworthy sigils, like signet rings or such.
Rings, you notice, unadorned. You know what? I'll say you can either make a in this case, I guess it would just be straight history. Yeah, it would just be history. Make a history check.
Never mind.
Oof.
So yeah, he doesn't keep the rings hidden or anything. They appear to be unadorned. There are 8 of them, one on each of his main fingers, aside from his thumbs. And they're all silver. But other than that, you get nothing out. I presume you're gonna gather up the rest of the party.
She will give Jack a gentle kick to his foot.
Yeah.
Oh, are you talking about Jack or Jax?
Nope, my bad.
Jack. Jack is the one who's asleep.
No. That was days ago when he had a hangover.
Oh, well then she will gather everybody who was awake. It's a lot easier.
So everybody, you're now in the office where this Vikar man is sitting down and checking a timepiece on a chain that he has.
Now, Mr. Kvolson, could tell us your dilemma?
Ah, yes. Are you familiar with the Race of Eight Winds?
Oh, yes, we saw it the other day. Quite a dramatic outcome.
Yes, a little too dramatic. I'm offering you a job. I had researched your organization and I found yourselves to be trustworthy, is that correct?
Certainly.
So I take it then that everything that I speak about is strictly confidential?
Of course.
Excellent. Well, the outcome of this most recent raid has many people concerned about the integrity of the race overall. It is suspected that perhaps the accident that befell a certain racer by the name of Phoenix Cathian was no mere accident.
I fucking told you. Sorry, continue.
I am merely a private citizen, but I do know people within the Aerial Sportsman's Guild, the guild overseeing the event, and some among their number share my suspicions. And I would like you to launch an investigation into this matter. Private investigation.
Tell me, Phoenix Cathian, he survived, yes?
Yes, he is alive, but he was badly injured by the impact. He broke several of his bones. It is fortunate that he survived, but unfortunately his mount did not. It is seeming unlikely that he will be racing in future events.
I imagine not.
It's quite a
Is there-
tragedy.
Is there any reason these concerns haven't been brought to the watch? I imagine your guild and many other patrons in the city are quite invested in something as prestigious as the Race of Eight Winds.
The Sharn Watch has very little interest in the outcome of the sports events within the city. The only authority on this matter is the Aerial Sportsman's Guild I spoke of. They
I
have
see.
already launched their own investigation into the matter. That investigation has been officially closed as of yesterday. Their
That was
ruling
quick.
Their ruling was that no perpetrator could be firmly identified. Therefore, there is nothing that they can do. The matter is out of there. Usually, any accusations of cheating would result in a banning. But seeing as no one can be identified to have committed the cheating, matter has been dropped. But I am optimistic that a group of your specialty could uncover the truth and bring forward some evidence that would be of interest to the guild. It may change their mind. Perhaps banning the perpetrator, perhaps uncovering the truth of the matter.
Let's see, and have you been able to determine any evidence of wrongdoing other than the incident itself?
I've spoken with Phoenix, Cathian, the racer who suffered the accident. He is adamant that whatever befell his mount during the race could not have been some random accident. It must have been sabotage of some kind. He assured me. He is just as indignant over the matter as I am.
On that note, during the crash, how much control did Phoenix have over his mount?
He's an extremely skilled racer. With a preposterous question, of course he had absolute control of it.
Maybe. Or maybe the mount was being magically influenced.
Such things are prohibited by the guild. It is possible, but difficult, as they have checks for these sorts of things, and they have a watchful eye on the race to make sure that things of that nature do not happen. Whatever may have taken place was subtle enough to not have its source identified.
Tell me, what happened to Phoenix Mount? I understand it died, but where's the body now?
Well, he was given a funeral outside the city. Which was...
What was Fennec riding?
He was riding a hippogriff.
Okay.
The cause of death was impact with the wall. There was no other determined cause of death.
I imagine so. The question is if the mount was inflicted somehow by a spell or... I'm not sure what else.
Possibly. But before we get too deep into the investigation, we must discuss the matter of your employment. I'm willing to offer you 1,000 gold if you can assist in finding the cheetah.
That is... I believe that is fair compensation. Don't you, Jack?
Yeah, considering it's over a race, a cheating scandal. I mean, that's fairly generous.
Now, Mr. Coulsons, could you give us a list of the racers, addresses for each of them?
For each of them, no. I'm not a member of the guild, as I have said before. I have only done limited research into this matter myself. However, I have a fellow you can consult, and I was going to meet him. Would you accompany me?
I'm sure we could.
Indeed.
Excellent. I'm sure that this will be greatly beneficial for our investigation. Hopefully we can bring justice and maintain the integrity of our great sport. We must be off, though. He stands up, begins to make his way towards the exit. So are you guys gonna go with him?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. I will
What do you think
be
about this, Remy?
right back. Just a moment.
Actually, I also have a dog sitting next to me begging me to go outside, so I will also be right back.
What do we think, gang? Magic? Poison? A third thing?
Hmm.
Poison feels weird because how would they poison it and it not take effect until that point in the race?
Yeah, it's tricky.
Could be a long-lasting poison, but that is true. Would be very hard to time that. Magic, though.
Magic seems like the only logical answer because if there had been a physical attack of some sort, someone shooting a dart or something at the enemy.
Well, it was weren't they taking crossbow fire constantly?
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
Right? It
Yeah.
might have already been shot, and then it maybe takes the poison a little bit to act.
Well, wouldn't they have found the poison when they were doing their investigation? Unless it's the guild that's responsible.
Ooh. I mean, I was gonna think maybe someone collected it, right? Because it crashes there. Um, it crashed in Skyway, right?
No, it
Is that
crashed before Skyway.
it crashed before Skyway?
Yeah, because they flew up to Skyway and that was where the finish line was.
All right, you're right. You're right. It wasn't right at the finish line. Um, maybe someone in the district where it crashed knew that would happen. I don't know. They the the flight is predetermined, right? So I don't know. I think you could sort of plan it to be ready to grab the weapon, though. Still think it would be worth seeing the body. Sure, me and Mitra can perform better autopsy than they could.
I'm not opposed.
Certainly. Exhuming the hippogriff might be a little bit tricky, but I'm sure we can figure out something.
Yeah. At least now I don't feel too bad about not having speak with dead.
Well,
It
I
wouldn't
don't
work on a
know if.
hippogriff.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll work on hippogriff.
Yeah, I think it has to be a humanoid, if I'm not mistaken.
What happened?
Oh, I was just thinking about how because I multi-class, I don't have speak with dead yet. But I'm, gonna pick it up next level. But I'm wondering, does it even work on dead creatures of
What
a
do you mean?
corpse? Huh. I think it just has to be able to talk.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, you're talking about on a creature instead of a person? No, I don't think it works.
Well, it just says corpse, so I think it's maybe DM Fiat. I think it could work. Well,
Right, if you could speak to animals and
yeah, well, that, or if it's like a speaking animal, right? I don't think hippogriffs can speak, but maybe they have their own language. I don't know how smart
Yeah,
they are.
I don't know.
I know giant eagles can speak, but they're special.
I'm back.
I don't know if
is there
hippogriffs are that
eagles?
special. Yeah, exactly.
Burrow.
You guys discussing?
Um, we've been discussing theories on the case. Talking about poison versus magic. And then we discuss hippogriffs and speak with dead. If whether or not you could speak with a hippogriff. And it seems with speak with dead, it just seems a corpse and something that could have spoken beforehand. But we were unsure if hippogriffs can speak and or have their own language. That's what we've been up to.
Do you want to make a nature check to determine that? Does it even matter?
Yeah.
Do you even have the ability to cast that?
Not yet.
Well then,
Though I
doesn't
think
matter.
it might be on the wizard spells list, so although we'd have
It
to
is.
find it.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, right. We're in Sharn. You could always find a scroll, right?
Things are not that
Take
simple.
you a while.
Third level, yeah, might be a controlled substance.
Yeah, when it comes
Gotta fill
to
out the right
procuring
paperwork,
scrolls, things are a bit more
man.
complicated.
Getting an automatic gun license, you know what I mean? You just gotta file the right paperwork, make sure you don't have a record.
Enough with your bureaucracy.
Yeah, you just speak a few magic words and they're like, oh, okay, here's a scroll of fireball. No problem. Anyway.
It might take you a couple weeks.
You guys,
But I could.
you guys follow Vicar Kavolson out of Myriad Mysteries, where he has a sky coach already prepared, hovering off a nearby bridge, which he boards and gestures for you to come on board as well.
You know, I think we could be charging this guy more than 1,000 gold. Just putting that out there.
So you guys board the sky coach and it ascends above to Upper Dura, taking you to a location that's basically directly above where Myriad Mysteries is. The district called Overlook. That's directly above Under. Specifically, he has the sky coach pull off near the top of one of these large and unremarkable tenement towers that are just solid gray, with windows on them that have all kinds of tapestries blowing off of them in the wind. As you guys exit off onto a balcony, he takes you up a set of stairs that leads to the rooftop of that particular building, which find has some kind of garden at the top of it. He talks to you as you guys are walking. Yes, we are meeting with a associate from the guild. You might know him. His name is Fruit. He told me to meet him here. I've never been to this place. He called it the Shrine of Ilyana, something like that.
What'd you say his name was?
Fruit. It's Hruit.
Would I know what the Shrine of Ilyana is?
Nope.
Nope. Can't even make a religion check. Damn.
That's so obscure. Okay, you know what? Actually, you know what? Make a religion check.
So I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah,
I
you
got
can
a
make
28.
Oh,
God.
28.
Yeah, the new
Okay.
cleric adds their wisdom mod, and I have a pretty good intelligence mod, so I'm pretty good at that.
Okay.
Only a +9, no big deal.
No biggie.
That's what I have to investigation.
I don't know
Nice.
how you would know this,
I think
but
maybe just talking to people as a traveler.
perhaps you've spoken to some Adarn monks, but Ilyana is sort of like a saint-like figure, or he would be in our world equivalent to like a Buddha,
Mm-hmm.
like a great religious figure who's not necessarily divine, just that they had a great wisdom. Um, Ilyana, that's who Ilyana is. So by deduction, you would know that this is some sort of Adaran shrine. Familiar with Adar
Yeah.
country?
Yeah, the nation to the east. Lots of mountains and these sorts of monks. Maybe I know a little bit about them, because I know that they also use mental powers, and Ari herself is interested in developing mental powers.
Either way, it's a super obscure trivia fact that you just had primed and ready that nobody else
Yeah.
that you know would know about.
Hmm.
Like it doesn't even ring a bell to anybody else what that could even be.
Hmm.
But yeah, you are
Yes.
walked into this um, extremely beautiful garden as the sun begins to set above you. Well, to your right, I guess. That's not it. Oh, that's too loud. So you find yourselves in this beautiful garden of trees and flowers that has been cultivated on the top of this tower. It has a sort of a wall surrounding the exterior, even though it's open to the sky above. So when you walk in here, you can't even really see much of the city around you. All you see is the sky and clouds above, as well as these trees that have been adorned with ribbons and tapestry that are blowing in the wind. Various colorful tiles have been arranged around the garden, forming geometric patterns. It's quite serene. You can hear birds chirping. And as you
I
walk
can't say
in,
this isn't where I'd expected to have a business meeting, Mr. Wilson.
well, it is not a business meeting, and it was not arranged by me. I'm honestly as surprised as you. Looks around. Um, and as you guys are looking around to see where this person you're supposed to be meeting with is, you hear from above you, "Hello!" And you look up, and you see that there is a giant owl perched at the very top of one of the trees in the garden, who's looking directly down at you with his large owl eyes, his head cocked to the side.
Oh, hello.
Just a moment, he'll be right with you. He flaps his wings and causes like a great gust of wind, and then gently lands on the ground next to you guys. And then you suddenly see him morph his shape, like almost in the blink of an eye, from a giant owl into an old looking human man, hunched over with a cane, draped in some simple green robes, and a long gray beard. Now we can talk. Vicar, is this the group you were telling me about? Uh, yes, I did not realize that you were, capable of transforming into a owl? Well, there's a great many things that you don't know about me, I suppose. And he sort of smirks at all of you. My name is Fruit. You haven't met me before.
Pleasure, freaked. I am Remy.
It's Fruit.
Mithril.
Hruit.
Ooh.
It's like the word fruit, except if you replace the F with an H.
Would I know who this is, like, given my time in the city?
Roll a history check.
Alright. Right, 18.
Yeah, you've heard of this guy before. He's the city councilor for Middledewar.
Oh, that's so cool.
He's on the council.
Ah. Hello there, councilman.
Oh, good. Are you a pet of mine? Or are you
A little bit. I think
merely
it's
aware
rather
of my
cool.
are you merely aware of my political career?
Oh no, I mean, I'm a collector of stories and heard many stories about you. You're racing through the city, and now your time on the council. Rather remarkable figure in Sharn's history.
Yes, it's always wonderful to meet a fan. Too many sycophants only know me for my place on the council. But yes, I'm glad the vicar has arranged you all. Has he already filled you in on the matter?
Yes, we are in agreement that what happens to poor Thenitz Cathane is certainly remarkable and concerning.
Yes, yes, highly concerning. He like strokes his beard and like nods his head along. Ah, but I assembled you here because, well, I figured I could offer my consulting as I'm a member of the Area Sportsman's Guild, but I also happen to be a witness.
Really, were you close to the tower where this happened?
Well, during the race of 8 weeks, it's my job to keep an eye on things, make sure everything's above board. I was there for the whole thing. You might have seen, maybe not. Not a lot of people noticed me, but yes, I do keep an eye on things during the race, and I'm there for the unfortunate accident. That was fellow poor Phoenix.
Then could you go over what you saw then?
I could describe what I saw, but I thought it would be perhaps more useful to see it as well. That's why I brought you here. I follow me. Let me show you what I mean.
Of course.
He leads you deeper into the garden, and towards the back of it, sitting on a pillow, cross-legged, is a old looking man, um, with a beard that goes all the way down to his chest, all the way down to his like stomach, and with very pale skin. And he has his arms folded in front of him, apparently in deep meditation. Before, he also happens to have a sort of blindfold over his eyes, but despite the blindfold, he looks up at all of you as you approach. And Pruitt says, "This is a good friend of mine. His name is Habakkuk. Is the one who tends to this shrine." Yeah. The old man doesn't say anything, he just sort of looks at you guys.
Good day.
To this, he just like
Greetings.
humbly bows his head to you. Well, Habakkuk, I was hoping that you could perhaps help our investigation. These gentlemen here are investigating a very serious matter, one which I happen to be a witness to. And I was hoping perhaps you could help them, well, become witnesses as well, if you know what I mean. The monk looks up and nods his head and just says, "You, I will show." And he points to the ground in front of him. And Rui turns to the group of you. For this to take place, I'm going to need one of you to be the volunteer here, the witness. So I recommend whoever amongst you is the most receptive, perhaps?
Mitra steps right up. Very interested in this weird monk stuff.
The monk um, takes out a pipe and lights it, putting it in his mouth. Rui sort of gets on the ground, cross-legged, just like the monk is in front of him, and closes his eyes. Want to own them?
Yep.
Okay, so you assume the same position that Wheat does, and the monk produces a long instrument that looks somewhat like a lute in that it has strings, but it has several more strings than you would expect, and it's quite a bit longer than your average lute. And he begins to strum a melody on it, and he says to you, "You must close your eyes. Open within. Listen, focus on the music."
Very well.
Close your eyes and try to focus on just listening to the melody that this guy begins to play in front of you. Um, you guys watching Mitra, you see her, at first her head is like up high, straight, but soon her head like laxes, and seemingly unconsciously, she just has her head down, and it looks like she's asleep. Mitra, from your perspective now, you sort of go from hearing the music into seeing this dreamlike vision in your mind in extremely vivid detail. You feel yourself perched on a ledge overlooking the city, looking at everything below you with an extremely wide field of vision and see basically everything. It gives you almost a sense of vertigo, but then you feel yourself leap from the ledge and begin to flap your wings as you fly above the streets below. And before you know it, you can see below you the race of 8 winds. Except this time, you can see it in extremely high fidelity. As your eyes, you can focus them in to the precise, area that they're in, and you can see them in great detail that your normal eyes just simply wouldn't be capable of doing. And you see the events of the race playing out for you as if you were in a dream, except you're from this flying perspective, and you get to see all of it. You can see every individual racer, what they were riding, what they were doing, and you're basically hovering behind them the entire time as they go. First off, what are you going to try and look for?
Look for the hippogriff and Benix.
So you see riding a white hippogriff, which if you aren't familiar, it's got the head of a bird and the body of a horse, large wings.
Mm-hmm.
You see astride this hippogriff a man in full plate armor. Looks like it was made for Skyblade competitions. It has dents in it, but covers this man's entire body as he rides with a crossbow in his hand. And you see him extremely deftly pull ahead of the whole pack and lead for the majority of the race. Extremely in control, his movements smooth and deliberate the whole way through. Right up until you get to the point where you see his hippogriff start suddenly flapping their wings more erratically, and Phoenix pulls the reins trying to gain control of it, and then suddenly the hippogriff lunges themselves into a nearby parapet on the tower, and immediately upon impact their body goes limp, and the man riding it flies off of it, his body colliding with part of the tower and then falling downwards, where you can see that his descent is slowed, presumably by a feather token or some other apparatus, as he drifts down to the city below. But his mount just falls all the way down. Was there anything else you wanted to look for?
Look kind of around and look at his surroundings in the moment that The hippogriff started acting erratically and see if she can see any other racers. If anybody was gesturing in a somatic component kind of way.
This is the final leg of the race. You see that on this part, Phoenix is being closely followed by 3 other racers. One of them, and the closest behind him, is a female elf, long hair that's billowing behind her, riding on top of a giant green dragonfly. She does not carry any weapon in her hand. And as you replay the moment in your mind, you can see her not really using her hands for anything but controlling the reins of the creature she's on, entirely focused on getting as much speed as possible. You also spot behind her Klimek, halfling, who's wearing these traditional tribal looking clothes. It is riding this thing called a glide wing. I don't know if your character would be familiar with that. But it's this flying lizard-like creature that it looks like a pterodactyl essentially, but smaller. And he's on top of it. He's trying to line up a shot with his hand crossbow, trying to shoot at Phoenix. Then you see behind him one last racer who is, you think to be a human male. He's got pale skin. He's wearing some leather armor. And he's riding on a silver griffin. You never heard this guy's name before. No one really talked about him. And you can see that his hands are on the reins as well. Make a perception check.
Alright, let's use a luck point.
Okay, 23. Okay, so you are confident that if anybody is casting a spell, they are not using any of them with a verbal component or a somatic component or a material component, which is basically unheard of. That's like extremely impossible or unorthodox. Like, you've never heard of even that occurring. Because you can see clearly that their mouths aren't moving and they aren't waving their hands around. The only thing that you notice that's a little bit strange to you. Well, there's 2 things you notice that are strange. The first is that soon after what's his name? Phoenix crashes. Klimek immediately turns around and shoots the guy behind him, the unnamed guy, who immediately falls off his mount. Which was a pretty hard shot. That Klimek guy, he's a really good shot, and he whipped around fast. As soon as Phoenix crashed, he whipped around and shot that guy. But you're 100% sure he did not shoot Phoenix.
Okay.
The other strange thing you notice is that after the impact, on the ascent towards the Skyway, you notice that just barely out of the corner of your eye, you can see that the elf who is ahead of Klimek at first releases her reins. And that's when her dragonfly slows down and Klimek passes her by. And then shortly after that, the race ends with Klimek landing on a courtyard in the Skyway with crowds of people surrounding and shouting and throwing confetti.
Where
that's
is the elf looking as she's releasing her reins?
You see, before she did that, she glanced behind her briefly. But that's all you caught.
Okay.
After that, your vision darkens and your eyes flutter open and you realize that you were just like asleep, basically. You feel like you just woke up. Sitting there in the tower again.
That was fascinating.
The monk in front of you lays down his instrument and bows his head. You hear Huit say, "Thank you, old friend. Now I'm sure that was quite enlightening, wasn't it?"
Mitra will bow her head to the monk. No, yes, it was.
Much better than simply an exchange of words, I say.
Are you okay?
No, yes. I saw his memory in vivid detail.
What did you see?
Something clearly afflicted Fennec Athane's hippogriff in the moment before the crash. Though I can't be sure as to what. None of the riders close to him made any indication of casting a spell. The only other
I mean-
oddity is one of the riders, they looked back and seemed to let that halfling win.
Well, that's a good start. What do you
Huh.
mean that they didn't make any indication that they were casting a spell?
And they
You
would have
didn't see
needed
them see them physically casting a spell.
that if they weren't making any gestures or invocations of magic, as one would expect. They were clearly focused on riding their mounts or shooting crossbows at their opponents.
I mean, some spells, though, require but a word. Are you sure they didn't say anything in the moment?
Not that I could tell.
Rui,
And
like,
Druids
scratches
does
his
have
chin.
excellent eyesight.
Well, yes, that's the benefit of being an owl, I suppose. It's quite difficult being out of these eyes by comparison. May as well be blind. Anyway, so you think that Nalea gave up the race towards the end there?
Seems so. She was quite intent on speed over trying to fight off anybody, but at the last moment, she let go of the reins, and the Talenta halfling went right by her.
Fascinating. I had not even considered that. Oh. Well, it is a form of cheating to fix a race, but doing that in that way is very difficult to prove. I feel as though unless you could get Nalea to admit to it, she would not be. It's unlikely she would face any punishment, whatever part she may have played.
And I think the
Well, I
primary
mean-
question is what happens to Phoenix's mount.
Exactly.
And at bare minimum, I mean, all of these actions put this man in the hospital. Yeah, he deserves some sort of justice from this, especially if it was planned and not an accident.
Have we considered the possibility that perhaps Finnick is in on it as well?
From what I observed, I don't believe so. I was quite surprised at how his mount reacted and tried
Vikar
to direct it.
Vikar chimes in. FedEx is part of the reason that I even was able to get this investigation going in the first place and get Ruit here on my side. We both spoke with him. He was very adamant that he was cheated. He was in on it. I would find it very strange for him to admit anything happening at all.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to hire someone to, blow up your own spot.
That would make for quite the dramatic stage play, wouldn't it? But I don't think that's the case here. Not from what I saw.
If you doubt him, you can go and ask Phoenix herself. He is recovering. I can give you his address. I'm sure he'd be more than willing to speak to you about whatever matters you wish.
We very well might. But, where was the hippogriff buried?
Oh, yes. I had, cooperated with Phoenix on giving his dear partner a proper burial. They are outside the city, in the city of the dead.
I know that exhuming a beloved partner might be a complicated and a delicate matter, but the hippogriff is who was afflicted, therefore examining the body might produce some answers, and access to that might be easier with the word of a counselor.
I can assure you that won't be necessary. I personally oversaw the burial arrangement. Examined the body myself. I had suspicions too at the time, but the only traces I could find of anything happening was the injuries sustained from the crash. I even had a check made for any magical residue of any kind. Couldn't find anything of that sort either. Other than the injuries from impact, was unharmed, unscratched. No one had even landed a single crossbow hit on it.
This is quite the quandary, then. We'll talk to Phoenix, certainly, and to the other racers, to start.
Finding the other racers might prove difficult. He scratches his chin.
Oh? Why
Let me
so?
get-
Are they not
Limmick in particular is an evasive one. He spends most of his time, as far as I'm aware, with his fellow band members. He's a member of the Boromar family.
That is another complication, isn't it?
Indeed, and not surprise me if they could have had a role to play here.
What about the girl?
Her name is Nalia, or Nalia Valira. She's a cousin to the counselor up in Upper Newport. Uh, she has been in quite a few races, actually. I know her personally. She's been on the up and up. You know, reason to suspect her. Though, now that you mention her behavior towards the end of the race, it might be worth talking to her as well.
And if you know her personally, perhaps you could give us a letter of introduction.
I can certainly tell you where to find her. Letter of introduction may not be necessary. I see no reason why she wouldn't cooperate with the investigation.
And then we'll speak to her
Yeah, maybe a
first.
little bit either. Sorry.
Is there any other racers you wanted to come in contact with?
There was a fourth one in the lead pact, but I didn't see anything untoward of him.
Well, all of these racers, now that I think about it, aside from Phoenix, they are going to be present in next week's Skyblade tournament.
Well, then
Perhaps
that
we
will be
could
up
use
for
that as an opportunity.
certainly an opportunity to speak to the halfling.
You see, I am, as part of the guild, I help to manage these sorts of events. But I could perhaps manipulate things in order to aid the investigation. You know, once a cheater, twice a cheater. Perhaps we could use it as an opportunity to see if there's any more foul play.
That's not a bad question, honestly. When has this guy ever won before, or anybody from his house ever won before? Do they win
Limit
often?
Limerick is. He has not been in Sharn for very long, and he has not won in the two prior races that he has participated in. Nalaya has won at least 3 in the past. Phoenix has won 4.
Yeah, these guys are from the plains, right?
Limerick, I believe he's an immigrant from the Talenta Plains. A recent immigrant.
Hmm. Yeah, I think she's definitely the first stop. What do you think, girls?
I think the elf is our best place to start.
I agree.
Since she will hopefully be the most cooperative. Certainly, someone with ties to the Boromar won't appreciate nosy questions.
I mean, do we just go ask her questions, or do you want to go more of a personal kind of thing? We could. I
Could
don't
also talk
know.
to Fenix as well.
Yes, we should.
Send her flowers and congratulate her on the race. Maybe.
But she did
Ask.
not win.
I mean, she didn't do terrible though.
Nah, but in this world, if you're not first, you're
The
last.
last.
So, how elaborate do you want to get if you're suggesting some kind of undercover? I mean, Ari can certainly appear as anyone, but the question is a matter of approach.
And there's always a stakeout.
Yes, perhaps someone could tail them and see if they interact with this halfling.
That could certainly work.
We have her address.
I believe we were only given information on where they would be for the next race.
If you need her address, I can provide it. She lives with her family in their estate.
I mean, we could go with the classic run and send her an anonymous letter that says, "I know what you did," and then see where she runs to. Worked a couple of times in the past.
Maybe we try a meeting first, then switch to intimidation through the press and letters. I'm
I mean,
hopeful
yeah, we can just ask her too, for sure.
that she will be cooperative.
Yeah.
While certainly suspicious that she let Klimak win, still not entirely convinced she's going to be the one who caused Fenix to fail.
No, but she could definitely lower down the number of suspects for us. She knows something.
That's for certain.
And maybe it's just in her best interest to tell us so that she don't end up, in jail. Or even worse, in the stockades.
Certainly, the risk of being barred from competition is a incentive to these riders. But I agree it would be a bit more straightforward to simply question her. No doubt the crash is a talk of the town, especially among the guild.
Yeah, we're expecting too much out of people. After all, they are just like crabs in a barrel anyway, right? We just tell her that she's fucked if she don't tell us. She'll come
Well,
right
I
clean.
wouldn't go that far. Honey rather than vinegar. At least until we have indication of wrongdoing.
I'll let you do the talking, Mitra.
My only concern with going and questioning directly before any type of investigation is once
We
they know
incriminate
that we're
ourselves.
looking into them, they might not be as likely to go about their activities that they would have had we not questioned them.
Or
They
they're
might be
more
a little
likely,
more shady about it.
or they might be more likely to go inform their conspirators that someone is onto them. And that's when you stake out outside their apartment and follow them across the city.
All right, so feel free to tell me no, because I'm terrible. But my character would definitely have a sending stone, right?
Uh,
I mean, I
why?
feel because he's House Civis.
Doesn't necessarily mean you own a sending stone. You have to pay for those. You don't just get them for free.
Well, I wasn't
Yeah.
born 2 weeks ago.
If that's not
Do
part
you
of the
know
equipment you
sending?
already got, then you don't got it.
Okay. Well, I mean, it could be advantageous for maybe just a couple of us to go. And then maybe we'll have some people wait outside so that she doesn't see or meet everyone.
Yeah, if you like.
It's a
That can work.
girl. How about you guys go in there and me and Remy will stake the place out?
Very well.
See if we can find anything out of the ordinary.
Okay. So you guys are going to leave?
Thank you, Counselor.
Please let me know if you would like entry into the Skyblade tournament that's coming up. Any other assistance that I can provide. If you need me, well, I'll be honest, you're better off trying to find Vicar, but if you do need me, you can find me here on evening.
Duly noted.
And what's his name for my notes?
Vicar,
No, the druid.
Fruit.
Yeah, fruit, but with an H.
Treat.
Yes.
Treat.
Any last name?
Nope.
Druid owes some sky race tickets.
Vicar speaks up. So, this is all well and good, but if you find any hard evidence, or perhaps acquire a confession, I'm going to need something of that nature before I can provide you payment.
Oh, of course.
Hey, hold on. You said you would pay us to assist you in this. You didn't say you would pay us to find the guy, alright? So don't go backtracking on what you hired us for. We're gonna assist you plenty.
I paid you to find the cheater.
That's not what you said.
Well, it is
I
what
think
I'm
that is
saying now.
Paid us
actually.
to help you with the investigation is what you said.
I am not going to pay you unless you can find me the specific person who is responsible for this accident.
Well, I hope that the very specific person comes with a nice bonus.
No, that is what the 1,000 gold is for. Otherwise, you
Jack.
get
Why are you
nothing.
being so tight, man? You got plenty of money.
Jax.
This guy on a pot of gold telling me. Alright, let's get out of here.
If you need me, here is my address. Presents
Yes.
a
Thank
business
you.
card for a shop in Middle Central. But with that, are you guys going to leave? And if so, to where?
I still think we should speak to Phoenix first, get his perspective on the crash, and also his perspective maybe on the other racers.
Yeah, see if they have any history.
Yeah.
Oh, we can say that Hui provided you with the address for both Phoenix and Alea. He doesn't have Flimix address.
Though Ari is a little hopeful that maybe her contacts might know a thing or two, or maybe even able to arrange a meeting. That's for later. She goes home. Well, so what do we say, group? Phoenix or Nalia?
Let's talk to Phoenix then.
We know
Yes,
that
we should
he's
get the rest of the story before we start our investigation.
do we know that we can even talk to this guy? Is he in like ICU? I guess that guy was hired by him, so yeah, he's
Yeah,
obviously
they
able to
had
talk.
encouraged us to talk to him, or
Yep.
suggested it was an option.
Yeah, let's go see him.
Okay. So the address you were provided for him is not that far away. Um, it's in Dagger Watch, which is in Upper Dura. So it's just a hop, skip, and a jump away from where you guys currently are, which is Overlook. You guys make your way to Dagger Watch. There are still banners and flyers from the Race of Eight Winds all around. Some of them crumpled up on the ground, still haven't been cleaned up properly. Bits of confetti and stuff. Um, but once you guys make it to Dagger Watch, you can see the huge Dagger Watch garrison. There's this large, imposing structure on the edge of the district, overlooking the Dagger River that flows beneath down the cliff sides. But the address is not for the garrison itself, for a small townhouse nearby. You guys arrive to the door of a small, shabby apartment in the side of one of the towers. Presume you're gonna knock on the door?
Yep.
Oh, just a moment! You hear like the pitter patter of feet, and then the door opens, and you have to look down and see that a little gnomish woman has opened the door. Her hair frazzled and gray, and she's looking at you with big bespectacled eyes. How can I help you? We aren't expecting anyone.
We're here on behalf of Vicar. We want to speak to Phoenix if he's awake.
The car? Not ringing any bells. Who is that?
He's from the guild.
What guild? The Adventurers Guild?
The Racers Guild.
What is the Racers Guild?
What is going on here? Can you let Phoenix know that we're here, please?
Just trying to figure out who you are.
We are friends of Phoenix.
Yeah.
We're here to
What
speak to
are
him about.
your
myself.
names?
Cobble Crag, at your service. Please.
He's in great pain. If you could come back some other time, that would be great, because he is not in any condition to be speaking with people.
He will want to speak to us. It's about the unfortunate accident.
Yes, we
Oh,
are
are you-
looking to
Information.
solve it.
Oh, are you with the Sharn Watch?
Private inquisitives.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I will let them know. Just one moment. And she closes the door, and you hear her scuttling through the townhouse. And a few minutes later, she comes back down. Ah, yes, Phoenix would like to see you. And you guys are escorted in this humble, apartment, 2-floor apartment. First floor is the shabby-looking living room with a kitchen adjoining it. He walks you up, and upstairs there's a bedroom where you can see laying in bed, covered head to toe in bandages, is the heavily built, muscular, old-looking human man who's reclining in his bed, and it looks like he's breathing is kind of labored, and the little gnomish woman is like, this is the people who wanted to speak with you. And he says, that's wonderful. You can go now. I'll just have a private moment with them. He escorts herself out. Just stares at
I
you
look over.
guys awkwardly.
Yeah, I look over at Mitra.
Mr. Cathane, we've recently spoken with Vicar Colsfund and Councillor Hewitt. We've been hired as private inquisitives to investigate the matter of your unfortunate accident.
Oh, Vicar hired you. He spoke with me before. He said he was planning on doing some private investigation. I didn't realize he was gonna actually hire somebody. Oh, I just realized that I left this.
Out of curiosity, how much are you paying him to look into this?
Paid him anything. He just came and asked me a few questions and then said he was gonna do some kind of investigation. I told him that the guild already looked into it, but he wasn't taking no for an answer.
So it was our understanding that the guild's investigation was rather brief and insubstantial.
Yeah, Rui had already filled me in. Apparently, they didn't see enough to pin it on anybody.
And thus we're taking a closer look. Could you walk us through what happened in the moments leading up to the crash?
I mean, everything was going pretty smooth. That day, Whisper was performing just fine. They were. There wasn't anything strange about Whisper. I was just too caught up in the zone to pay attention to much else. I didn't see what was going on around me. I was just focused on making it to the finish line. When it happened, like, Whisper just started freaking out. Tried to get control, but then by the time I pulled on the reins, it was already too late. And then everything just kind of went black after that.
Did you feel your mount was intentionally flying into the tower?
Oh, they just started freaking out like they just got spooked or something. They weren't in control. I was trying to get them back on track, but they just, one small deviation, and you're already in the wall. Things go fast when you're at one of those races.
So we saw. In the days and perhaps weeks preceding the race, did you observe any oddities as you went about your days? I understand you were one of the favorites to win, and there's a great deal of coin involved in the betting of these races.
As a former champion, I know that there's some shady business going on. It seems Gil doesn't know about. You can see it sometimes in Skyblade matches and stuff. People take falls. There's a lot of gambling. That gambling is the source of a lot of money for a lot of people out there. Sometimes they manipulate the result, get what they want.
Certainly seems that may be the case here, given what happened to your steed.
Some of the racers, especially these new fuckers, Klimek, I have no doubt that they're in somebody's pocket.
Have you raced with Nalea often?
I know her pretty well. We've spoken on more than one occasion. She seems alright to me. I mean, she's been racing for a long time, even longer than I have. She loves the sport. No doubt in my mind. I don't see why she would do anything.
Well, from the accounting we received from Huet, who had a very close observation of the race, it seemed that Nalea threw it, even though she had an advantage.
No way, no way. It's gotta be wrong.
We performed a ritual of sorts that allowed myself to see his memory. It was quite clear she released the reins in the moment after your crash. And thus
Maybe
Klimek
seeing
was
me
allowed to
crash like made
attempt-
her second guess or something, but she didn't. There's no way she's doing any shady shit. I don't believe it.
What has you so convinced?
I know her, okay? Spoken with her. She's not one of them. She's not one of those speed
Boromar?
freaks. She's not one of the
No.
Boromar either.
Hmm. Did you speak to her before the race the other day?
No, I mean, I waved to her.
Did she seem in good spirits when you saw her at the starting line?
Yes.
Did we lose Casey?
I
think
heard
we
a
must have.
suspicious door knocking noise, so we might have.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to step away briefly.
No worries.
What were you guys saying?
Did she seem in good spirits when you saw her at the starting line?
Well, she's not. She's not the laughing type or the joyful type. She's always kind of got the same look about her, but she didn't seem out of the ordinary.
I see.
She's serious about racing.
I have no doubt everyone is in a race as popular as the 8 wins.
Oh, you got anything else for me? Kind of hurts to talk.
Not I.
I mean,
You're sure someone cheated you? We were told. What makes you so certain?
He like gets suddenly really serious. I know Whisper. No. We were partners for years. I raised her from a chick. I know when something's wrong with her. That wasn't her.
Okay.
I agree that something afflicted Whisper, unfortunately. We've not seen any concrete evidence thus far of what. One would expect a spell, but from what I saw in the memory, none of the riders cast one. So it's quite the quandary.
I don't know, but I know it wasn't fucking natural. They
Did
did
you see
something-
any crossbow bolts hit Whisper?
No, we weren't even touched.
I have no further questions.
In the moments before Whisper lost control, would you have noticed anything, I guess, that could have been frightening to her?
She's trained for this shit. She's bred for this. She doesn't get disturbed by anything.
Hmm.
I mean, maybe somebody cast fear on her.
Exactly, the spell would be the obvious culprit, but
Not impossible to cast a spell without moving your mouth,
Hmm.
waving your
Most of the
hand.
time, it is. That's factually incorrect.
I mean, but
Like,
there
there are
are
some
ways
spells-
to get
there are some
around
s-
it.
There are very specific spells that don't have vocal components, but
And then if you're a sorcerer, you cast subtly.
sorcerers are very rare in Eberron. Not a common ability.
Yeah, that's what I was
Hmm.
getting at. It's like it's
We
not super common, but
we
it's
dealt with
possible.
in our first mystery, we dealt with long range spellcasting. Could it be possible for a fear spell to be cast at an enhanced distance? Do you happen to know that, Jackson?
I would assume.
With the right equipment. So, the, actually, you know what? Jackson, roll an Arcana.
A 12.
The only things that you're aware of that could extend the range of a spell like that are siege staffs. Siege staffs are like emplacements. Like they're not even portable. They're huge. They're like the size of a ballista. They would have to be emplaced beforehand. And they're extremely expensive. They were weapons used during the war.
So I mean, if someone was using like if somebody's using something to channel their magic, I would assume maybe, but that would have to be really high up. It's not
And
like these guys aren't connected though, so I mean,
and just for clarity, Ari, you would know from talking with Revian that that staff that you recovered from the first perpetrator you guys arrested,
Hmm.
that specific kind of staff can only enhance cantrips. Very low level spells. Even,
Hmm.
as far as you're aware, it's simply not possible to do that kind of thing. To enhance the
So it
range of
requires
a higher
more
level spell.
more unwieldy ones. Makes sense. Huh. Well, I can't imagine someone has a siege staff just lying about in Sharn. I would imagine those are highly regulated by the army and possibly the
Would
watch
one
if
of
they
those
might
even
own
be?
one.
certainly not something one can walk down the street with.
Or buy a local weapons shop.
But could it be disguised as something else? Say, a banner for a racer?
Not easily, I would think.
Again, this thing is
Perhaps.
huge. It's like 15 feet long. That's how big these things are.
Yeah, that's what Remy was asking because he didn't know.
Most curious.
Hmm. Well, I don't have any more questions for Phoenix. Do any of you all?
Nope.
No. Well, I hope you get better. Feel better, man. Sorry about your hippogriff. Real quick, do those things talk?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Hippogriffs, can they talk?
Can a horse talk?
Do horses
Thank
have
you.
wings? I don't know.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Cathane.
They
Well,
can't fucking fly.
I'm
Have a good
sure
day.
the car will inform you if we make progress. Good day.
I
As
look
you're
over at Ari and I'm like, we can't talk to the hippogriff as we're walking.
as
I don't say it,
you
but I look at you like, well.
I guess now we know.
as you turn to leave, he grabs your arm, Mitra, and pulls you closer to him and looks you in the eye and he says, "Promise me you're gonna find the motherfucker that did this. That killed Whisper."
I will, yes.
And when you do, you're gonna tell me who they are, where they are, so I can kill them myself.
Well, that costs a lot of money.
Get some rest, please.
I'm gonna kill him, I swear. And he just like jerks back in pain as he like clutches his side. See that young gnome walk up. "Oh no! Are you in pain? Let me get something for you." And she starts like dressing his wounds some more. As you guys make your exit.
Well,
I mean, that was kind of fruitful, a little bit.
indeed.
We learned the hippogriff was spooked. I don't think somebody just took control of it.
Indeed.
And
Lower level
a little
magic.
bit of a little bit of a background on the elf. I want to say Nalise, but I feel like that's wrong.
Nalea?
The Leia, yeah.
Interesting how convinced he was that Nalea wouldn't take a fall. Even though we have pretty strong evidence she did.
Well, to be fair, he didn't see it with his own eyes, and when someone with Boromar ties is the one who did win, it's easy to make assumptions.
Hmm.
Would it be easier to just convince this guy that nobody did anything wrong and get paid?
I don't think he's going to give us 1,000 gold if it's just to tell them that no one did anything wrong.
I mean,
No,
so
we're
if
gonna need
nobody
a
did
culprit.
anything wrong, we're not going to get paid. That just doesn't seem very.
Well, yes, technically, but there is reasonable indication that someone did do wrong. Between what he said, he would know his mount, and I know what I saw through the memory. Something did spook the hippogriff. And the question is how the magic was performed, because it wasn't. The beast wasn't struck by a bolt, but something. I don't know.
So
It must have been magic performed somehow.
there's media and there's races. Is this like recorded?
How?
I don't think we can do that in Eberron.
I don't know.
I don't have video cameras.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
I don't have cameras of any kind.
Give it another 100 years.
Best we're gonna get is going on a vision quest again with the monk.
It's crazy. Consider the amount of technology that there is in this world. There's no cameras.
Well, there could be like old-fashioned ones, but even then, I don't think those are the
Why
kind
would it
that.
need to be old fat? We have a lightning rail.
We
Yeah,
have
well, that's
flying
elementals.
where we have video cameras.
Illusions can be produced by illusionists, but
It's true.
those are just reconstructions. It's not literally captured in all of its detail. It's just them conjuring the image from what they remember, basically like painting a picture of it.
So there's no
Once
TVs in Eberron.
No.
There are stationary illusions that can sometimes function as like advertisements and such, especially within Sharn. But yeah, you would need to have an illusionist that actually recreates the event, that actually saw
You need to
it.
pay the TV in order for it to work.
Do you think it might, by chance, be worthwhile to have, or attempt rather, to have Fennec go on this vision quest with the monk, to have a trained eye for the sport look over the things and see if they notice anything out of the ordinary?
I don't think Finnick will make it through.
He's certainly in no position to move, and I'm not sure the nature of that monk's interest in moving from his perch.
Indeed. I wouldn't be surprised if that whole ritual vision quest was tied to the location itself. Potentially the monk is more powerful there. Very spiritual location.
It might be something that'd be worthwhile if Fennec is required to testify on a criminal trial regarding any wrongdoing, but for the time being, I'm confident in what I saw. Meanwhile, Fennec has his own preconceptions. I don't think the vision will necessarily change much. He should be resting, not dwelling on the unfortunate tragedy. And we still have leads of our own. Shall we be on our way to finding this Nalea?
And Stern nod, like, yep, let's get to it.
Okay. Well, I will be right back once again. Sorry.
No worries.
It's cool. As we travel through the town, I wonder if we see, like, a pet shop. I want a dog.
You want a dog?
To go with
Yeah,
your rat that's been hiding in your sleeves?
I want a mastiff that I can ride on.
Ooh, true. I wonder how much a mastiff is.
They're 100 gold.
They're 100 gold? That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, you know, in the book at least.
Yeah.
Give or take the market, you know.
That's true. How's House Vidalis controlling this?
Also, I need to get Dog saddle. That's probably pretty specialty, I guess.
Yeah, that's pretty niche.
Yeah.
There's lots of little people though. I could probably make my way down into Khyber's and find a dog saddle.
Fine.
I mean, maybe in Denisia's, I think is the name of the gnomish neighborhood. They might have someone who sells small saddles.
I could just find a kinky knoll.
Just go to a sex shop instead of a pet store for it.
My homie was a leather
Lord.
worker for a sex shop, actually.
I mean, they're awful, but not strict.
He probably could have fashioned up a little dog saddle.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know, that custom order is going to be expensive, though.
Yeah.
I'm back. Sorry.
That's gonna be funny for him to listen to on the recording.
Oh, it's so true. We have like the most unhinged conversations.
Okay.
No worries.
It was nothing bad. We just like devolved into a conversation about kinky knolls.
I don't even want to know.
Oh, Lord.
So on our way through the city, do I see like any pet shops? I'm gonna
Pet
keep my
shop.
eye out for one. Can I like roll investigation as we walk through or something to keep my eye out for one?
Just tell me, what is your intention with the pet shop?
Buy a mastiff. Buy a dog.
Buy
If there's a dog.
a
I want a dog.
mastiff. You think now is the time to purchase a pet?
I mean, when's better time than any, you know?
You had
When
2
in
weeks
Rome,
of
I'm in the middle of the
downtime.
city.
You had 2 weeks of downtime where you could have done anything you wanted to. And
You
now
had to
you're
write
buying the
a
dog.
really big letter.
Yeah, but I spent a long time writing a letter.
You could have easily just gone
I
and
had to
bought a dog.
research stuff for the letter at the library.
Oh man.
Anyway,
I mean,
you can,
I look over if they have a dog, I go and I buy it real quick. And if they don't have a dog, then I don't buy it. It doesn't have to take up any time.
Just wants his dog. Doesn't want to walk anymore.
just so you know, a trained mastiff is a little harder to find than a regular dog. So, are you just looking for a regular dog? Or are you looking for like
No, I'm
trained?
looking for a trained
mastiff.
mastiff. Yeah, I'm
That
willing
could
to spend
actually-
up to about 130 gold on it.
Okay. Well, you're not spotting anything like that as you make your way to North Edge, but
Can I roll an investigation at least, just to see how decent it is, how good I look?
the rest of the group, I assume, is not going to wait on you to purchase a dog.
At least I'll know where the place is, so I can go back later.
Okay. You spot
Look, I do
A pet
terribly.
shop.
You're good there.
you spot a pet shop in Middle Central as you're passing through. Obviously, not everybody's going to stop in their tracks to let you buy a dog.
Fine. Hey, you guys want to buy a dog? No. I'm just
Perhaps after we speak to Nylea
playing. That's fine.
and
You mean after you speak to Nyla?
that's true. You all are gonna stake out the joint.
Yeah, how far are we gonna be from the pet shop?
You're going to be quite a good distance. You're going to Upper North Edge to Shalios.
Okay.
Ooh.
Shalios is one of the richer districts in the city. It's, the very elvish influence. It's basically an elvish neighborhood, though white and aristocratic one. And these elves draw their heritage from Aernal. As you make your way up, some lifts take you upper north edge. You can see that the towers here are resplendent evening sky, which, by the way, has fallen to darkness. Just the street lights and the moon illuminating streets. But you can see that the towers are covered in all manner of trees and foliage, which have been planted on the edges of every single one of the towers. It's almost like a garden district, but the houses and estates are sort of woven into each other, and the nature that surrounds them very naturally. Some of these structures are actually look to be composed of trees themselves. I don't mean wood, like lumber. I mean like trees that have grown in the shape of structure. Like they've been cultivated over years to grow in a particular shape. Have shaped some of the homes themselves. But you find yourselves in a grassy courtyard in front of one of these estates. It has a small garden that wraps around the entirety of the tower, with the tower itself being molded in these flowing, freeform shapes that elegantly curve. This is apparently the estate where the Valira family resides. Currently, it seems that there are lights on inside. It seems like people are home.
Right.
Knock on the door.
So you walk up to the
And
door, which seems
so-
to have been formed from solid, shaped wood.
Jax and I have
Uncut
split
wood.
off at this point.
Yeah, I'm doing recon on the building and stuff, but we'll get to that in a second.
Okay, you guys are just gonna remain outside and keep watch?
So what's
We're-
the big building? You said, so do I see, you said it's a big building, like, you described the, like, stuff around it, but so does the building have windows that I can look in and see in? Are there windows on the building at all?
There are windows, but to get close to them, you'd have to go through the courtyard onto the premises of the estate itself. You're not going to be able to look into them from the street.
Hmm. I didn't think that it would be like this. Maybe we just go in with them.
I mean, we may not be able to sneak up and look at things, but we can still sit back and keep watch once they have left without them noticing us because they don't know us to see if they go anywhere. It'd be simpler and easier to follow them if we did not have the face of someone they had just met.
That is true.
True.
Well,
Alright.
are you a particularly good tracker, Remy?
I can track pretty well, yes.
Very well.
Although I'm not very good at hiding, I kind of stick out like a sore thumb.
Oh, this should help you. The traveler will bless all of your sneaking to and fro, and I'll give you a blessing of the trickster. So you have advantage on stealth checks
Nice.
until
Cool,
a long rest.
I get a flat roll then. I no longer have disadvantage.
Hey, there we go.
I'm sorry, I stepped away again. It's happening because my family keeps interrupting me.
No worries,
I
bud.
understand, dude. It's fine, honestly.
Yeah.
Some days it's rough for me too, man. Like,
So, who's staying outside?
we're gonna stay outside, and
Remy and Jax.
yeah, Remy and Jax, and then he gave Remy Blessing of the Trickster for stealth, or she gave Remy Blessing of the Trickster for stealth.
He, she, they. Ari accepts all pronouns.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You're a
Good point.
changeling, and I've seen you in a few different forms, so kind of
Yeah,
honestly,
and I'm
yeah.
currently
Confusing.
a changeling, like, stably this whole
Yeah.
session I've been, so. And when I'm in full changeling form, I don't think Ari cares about which pronoun you use.
So, Ari and Remy and Jax?
No. Me and Mitra are going inside.
Yeah,
I just
Okay.
gave Remy Blessing of the Trickster to make it easier for him to hide.
Okay. So the guys on the outside, where are you going?
We're just gonna kind of hang out and keep an eye out on things, and kind of investigate around the building as much as we can without, getting into trouble.
Okay, well, you notice that there's a garden surrounding the entire structure. So you can creep through the garden if you want, but you're going to need to make a stealth check.
For sure.
I will let Jax do that, and I'm going to stay further out. More so interested in what happens after than what's going on during the meeting.
Okay, so just Jax, do you want to make a stealth check?
11.
He is
Hey.
quite
But-
short, though.
Keep in mind, most gardens are, kind of around the same height as me. So
Can you get Blessing of the
if it is
Trickster?
ornate in any way, if
No,
there's
I
a
gave
bush,
it to
I am on the other
Remy
side
to get rid of his disadvantage. Yeah.
It was almost a 19. It was on 19 and then moved to a 9. What do you want? What do you want me to do?
Okay, so you start creeping through the bushes that surround the property, keeping
I mean, I
low
don't
the
see
whole
like
time.
guards or anything necessarily, do I? So
No. Guards.
really, I'm just trying to get a layout on like a known layout of the building. That's what I would be looking to do.
So you creep
Is,
around the
like-
building, which itself is circular. And it has sort of a circular courtyard that stretches all the way around it, except in the back, you now see that there is a large pond. Like big koi pond, basically. You can see an elvish woman there with long hair who is sitting beside a large dragonfly that is like the size of a horse. And it's currently not moving.
I was drawing a map of the outside of the building, the pond in the back. Just trying to keep track of everything. I'm assuming this is like the front of the building up here. And I'm kind of walking around through here. Or the front of the property, one would say. Because it's not just a building.
It doesn't seem like either the woman or the dragonfly notice you as you creep around in the back.
So I see a front door. Do I see like kind of any back door and windows and stuff?
There is a front entrance and a back entrance to the structure itself. There's several windows surrounding it. Again, it's circular. The main structure.
Okay. Heck yeah.
I'm a big fan of this drawing.
This is you guys right here.
Oh, nice.
Why does
Come
one
on.
have 3 legs?
They're
Hmm,
just,
hmm, hmm.
look. All right, I'm doing my best here. All
That
right.
must be Ari.
Yeah.
Uh, so it probably puts me, since she didn't see me, I'm probably like over here.
By the way, are you a rock or forest gnome?
I am a house of, what is it
Oh,
called?
right. That means you don't have
House of
either.
Scribing Gnome.
Oh, true. Means you don't get either of those abilities. You get the scribe's abilities.
Yeah.
Damn,
I do have Dark Sight, though. Dark
that
Vision.
is useful. Before we were running in blind to places.
Yeah,
That's why
have
Mitra
to
had to
get
get the
those
goggles.
Yeah,
I'm
before
still
she goes into
back.
any more sewers.
Our hat. What'd you say, Mitra? I didn't. And,
She had to get the goggles tonight before she goes into any more sewers.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had to drop her into the sewers so we could catch the kobold who brought us the desk.
Yeah, everything was dark the whole time. I'm surprised we weren't. I guess where we got into fights, lucky for us, it was actually lit up.
Yeah, that is true. Fights could have been a lot spookier if they were all in the dark.
You'd have had disadvantage.
Yeah.
But whoever you were fighting would have also had disadvantage unless they
Unless
had
they
dark
had
vision.
dark vision,
Yeah.
which almost
I think that's
everything
like
does.
almost a requirement for joining Dask, is you gotta have a little bit of dark vision.
I have dark vision up to 60 feet. That's pretty
Hmm.
decent.
I can have dark vision.
Ooh, you got
What
it
does
as a
that mean?
spell?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
Oh, okay.
wise. Oh, true. You're playing a ranger. Did you
Yeah, I
get
forgot.
Pass Without a Trace? Or what other second level did you go for?
So for first level, I've got Detect Magic, obviously Hunter's Mark, and Snare.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nice.
then
Good
second
choices.
level, I have Dark Vision, Healing Spirit, and second level Hunter's Mark. Oh, wait, I have more. Never mind. Sorry. Locate Object and Silence.
Ooh, silence.
Those are handy.
Very handy. Damn. If only there was an object we needed to locate.
Hmm.
That you've seen before.
Yeah.
Does a person count? We should have had him go on the vision tour.
Yeah, I don't think it works like that.
It specifies object. So,
Does a car
uh,
count? Or well, I guess they're
Yeah,
not
is a
racing
corpse
cars.
an object? That's always a good
Yes.
question. You know, I think different spells say different things. Oh.
says the spell can locate a specific object known to you if you have seen it up close, within 30 feet at least once.
Oh, up. We've seen it up close.
Yeah,
That's
it's a rough one to get use out of.
yeah.
But I can use it to find a particular kind of object instead of a specific one, such as a certain kind of jewelry, apparel, furniture, tool, or weapon.
Definitely can work for tracking people. We
All right,
catch
I'm
what
back.
they're wearing.
I'm back again.
Welcome back.
Okay. So, yes, Jack, you have spotted this woman and her dragonfly. It looks like they haven't spotted you.
I'm not engaged in anybody. I'm just trying to stay on my post and make sure everybody's safe. Get as much information as I can from being out here.
Okay, so up at the front, Ari and Mitra.
Knock
You
on
guys
the
knock
door.
on the you guys knock on the door. A few moments pass, and then an elvish man, tall, dressed in a suit with dark hair, opens the door, looks down at you. Hello, I was not expecting visitors.
We're here to see a Miss Nalea on behalf of the Air Racers Guild.
You do not look like members of the guild. Looks over you quizzically.
Oh, we're private inquisitives.
Visitors, you say, and what are you investigating?
And the unfortunate incident with Fennec Gathane the other day.
What does that have to do with Nalea?
I'd like to have her accounting of what she saw during the race. And she was among the leading pack. We'll be speaking
Indeed.
to all of the racers.
And it seemed that Phoenix and Alea were respected, if not friends, at the very least competitors.
That you're private investigators. Who do you work for? I know that you do not work for free, and I know that you work for private clients. The guild does its own investigations. Who are you working for?
Do we want to name drop him?
Is it our policy to name drop?
The guild made an initial investigation and finding an insubstantial conclusion. Therefore, professionals were brought in.
But the investigation has concluded, no?
Obviously, not entirely. Just here we are.
He narrows
Nalea
his
is not
eyes at
being-
you.
And Nalea is not being accused of a crime, so we only want her accounting of what she saw.
I do not think that Nalea would like to speak with you. He begins to close the door.
Should that not be her choice to make?
Make a persuasion check.
Let's use a luck point.
$19.
Does this guy look like a butler or like her father?
Roll an insight check. On top of your persuasion check. Okay. You can tell from a lapel pin he keeps tucked on his jacket, and the fact that he seems to have a relationship with Nalea, that you'd assume he's probably part of the family, and also someone of high standing. But the persuasion check gets him to stop closing the door. He lets out a sigh. I will ask her.
Thank you.
One moment. He closes the door. A few minutes that pass. Jax, from your perspective, you can see this guy exit out the back exit and begin speaking with that woman outside. Can't quite hear what they're talking about from where you are. but the woman seems to not be in a good mood, let's just say. And quickly that man walks away. And then Mitra, on your end, the door opens again, and he says, Leia would not like to speak with you, and I am going to kindly ask that you leave the premises.
Very well. Good day.
Okay, so he closes the door.
Did I
You're just
see
gonna
him
walk
come
off.
out back and talk to this girl?
Yeah, you saw that. I told you.
Okay. She stays outside though.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to talk to us. How close am I to her? So you said she didn't notice me. How close am I? Now that she's like walked back or whatever.
You're maybe 60 feet away. What are you guys doing?
Well,
Step back out and look for Jax and Remy.
yeah.
Okay. Well, you can spot Remy, but Jax is nowhere to be seen.
I'm gonna try to sneak to get within 30 feet of her.
Okay.
That's possible. Could I roll another stealth roll?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
I walk right up to her.
Start creeping up behind her when suddenly
No, not like that.
the dragonfly she's sitting next to starts fidgeting and looks in your direction, and then like you hear a buzzing sound as it starts flapping its little wings, and it quickly hovers over to you and starts flying up above you and looking straight at you. You can see its little mandibles
just
start
stand
like
up
clicking at you.
with my hands up. I'm just like, hey, sorry.
The
I
woman,
was just here to try to talk to you.
the woman stands
I
up
mean,
and
no
walks
harm.
over. And who are you? Creeping up on a woman in the middle of the night. You should be ashamed.
I like bow and introduce myself.
You guys
And,
out front can hear this
apologize
commotion.
profusely.
You guys can hear
Oh
the
boy.
commotion coming from back behind the structure.
I'm going to look to Mitra. Can you please make sure he doesn't cause a incident? And I'm gonna give her blessing of the trickster so she
Yeah.
can get up there sneakily.
Mitra will sneak up there and keep an eye on this.
Hey, you make a stealth check.
What's
With
the
advantage.
Okay, advantage. That is nice.
Trying to pull out all my notes.
Nat 20.
You silently creep around the house and get a good
On
look
the
at what's
night.
going on from like 60 feet away. Of like Jack's on the ground while this like huge dragonfly is like hovering above him threateningly. This woman strides over to him, says, you must be with those nosy inquisitors, I was told.
Correct, ma'am. Correct.
Who are you working for? What do you want?
We're here to help your friend Phoenix. You know, that race put him in the hospital. We're just trying to make sure that everything was all right. That everything was, it doesn't exactly seem like, I forget the, what's it called? Its name.
Oh, the
The
hippogriff
halfling.
whisper.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Whisper. You've raced with him before.
I'm the one asking
on,
the
you got-
questions
you-
here. Who are
you gotta
you?
admit
Where
that
did you
this
come
is
from? Who do you work for?
introduced
Tell me right now, or I'm going to have my friend here eat you.
I introduced myself, Jackson Cogwell Crag, ma'am. I'm with the Myriad of Mysteries, private investigation team, coming here to help you guys.
Who hired
Mean
you?
you no harm. What do you mean?
Who
I
hired you?
told you
You're
who
a
I
private
work for. I
investigator.
work for
Private.
Yeah, I work for Myriad of Mysteries. I was sent here by them to come here and speak with you.
I'm asking who your client is. Who told you to come
That
here?
I don't know. I'm just a like investigator here. I don't know who.
Roll a deception check with disadvantage.
With disadvantage. First one's so good though, and the second one's so bad. This is bullshit. I have a +5. Don't I get advantage? Oh, hold on. I'm proficient in it. Don't I get advantage or something?
You
What's
already
going
rolled
on
with
here?
No.
proficiency. You already had your
Yeah.
proficiency.
That's just
I don't know these new
getting a
rules.
2. That's
That
tough.
sucks.
She narrows her eyes at you. Do you know what it feels like to be eaten by a giant dragonfly? They dissolve your pieces before they start slowly sloughing the flesh off your skin. If I were you, I
It's
would
not
start
very
telling me.
ladylike at all. Okay, this
If I
is.
were
I
you,
don't know where you what.
if
You're
I were
gonna
you, I
have
would tell
someone.
you who hired you right now, or things are about to get violent.
I do I know that there's people behind me? I'm like, you're gonna eat me in front of people.
No,
No,
Mitra's stealth on a nat 20.
You're in the backyard right
Remy, how
now,
far
and
is Remy from
as
me?
far as you know, I mean, Remy stayed out front, so you don't see Remy. You don't see Mitra. You don't see anybody. You're alone right now, as far as you know.
Mm. Listen, I didn't come here to fight you.
You're about to fight me unless you tell me who you're working for right now.
No,
Jax, where on earth did you get out to? Jax!
I tried to ask this seemingly nice lady a couple of questions, and she's threatening to murder me.
This is,
She like clicks her tongue, and you see
ma'am, I
that
am so sorry.
she clicks her tongue, and you see that dragonfly land on top of Jackson.
Jax, please stop talking.
I don't do anything.
Its mandibles are like
Doesn't
clicking
bite
and
me.
rubbing together right in front of your face, and there's some strange liquid dripping from its mouth.
Miss Nalea, I assure you we did not come here to accuse you of anything. Our only interest is the truth. And some measure of justice for Phoenix's steed. He is quite torn up, as you can imagine.
Oh, yes, helping me by creeping up behind me in the middle of the night.
I apologize for my companion's lack of delicacy.
You know, maybe you just didn't see. If I was sneaking, you wouldn't have seen me, lady.
Jax,
Just saying.
Jax,
I just walked up to you. It's just dark out. You didn't see me.
Jax,
If you're-
shush.
If you're not very careful, your friend here is about to be a delicacy.
We were hired by one Vicar Cavalsund and
Vicar
Counselor.
Convulsant.
Counselor Ruti.
I cast detect
Ruti?
thoughts.
Ruit is in on this?
He had a bird's eye view of the moment of the incident.
Tech Thoughts, by the way, has a verbal and somatic component. You will immediately alert Nalea to what you're doing if you cast that.
I'm sitting underneath of a dragonfly.
Don't do it.
Whatever.
Don't do it.
Fine.
Unless you can do it subtly.
No,
But-
I'm not a fucking sorcerer.
Hey now, Mana Magic Adept is out there. Just for these moments.
My understanding is the counselor's quite keen on these races. Is it a surprise that he would be concerned about what happened?
I already spoke with Ruit. He came to me, spoke with me personally. Is that not enough?
I was not informed of this.
Yes, the guild did their investigation. I was part of it.
Oh, yes, we were informed about the guild's investigation and that they were not able to come to a substantial conclusion. Surely you can understand that it's difficult to find evidence of any wrongdoing, but you saw Phoenix's hippogriff, did you not? It flew right into the tower.
I know as much as anyone
Surely-
else. I think you're suspecting me, and you're trying to pin this all on me.
I told you, my interest is the truth.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
What?
Why
One
did I
more-
have disadvantage on my stealth roll? What?
You have disadvantage on persuasion checks and
Oh, it was a
deception
deception
checks
check.
against a creature that's hostile to you. Just FYI, if a creature is hostile to you, you're gonna have disadvantage on any kind of persuasion or deception rolls you're making against them.
I have one last luck point to make that a normal roll. Oof.
Oh, that's clutch.
24 is the first roll. What about the second?
I used a luck point to make that a flat roll.
Oh, okay. I see. Luck points are coming in handy.
Yeah, now she's all out.
So she just sighs and says, "Fine, I can just talk." She pats her dragonfly on the side, and it slowly crawls off of Jackson. Lets you get up. Come on. We'll talk.
Immediately get up and snap my fingers, prestidigitation, all that fucking drool off of me.
Thank you.
You
Scowl
see,
at this
you see
lady.
now a
Gladly.
man. That man you spoke with in the suit walking out and standing on the back patio with his arms crossed, watching you guys. But she says, "We'll talk in the back. Bring all your little cronies with you."
Very well. Jax, would you kindly fetch Remy and Ari?
Is he within 120 feet of me?
Why does that matter?
Because I can just point at him and cast message.
You could also just, talk to him like a normal person.
I think you have to see him anyways.
Yeah, it's true. If he's hiding.
Remy wasn't hiding.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, was it? I thought you were just standing out front.
No, I purposefully stayed back out of sight so that I
Oh.
could see anything that happened after
Oh,
everyone left.
I'll go grab Remy.
Okay.
And
so-
because why would I just not use magic? What do you mean? What kind of question is that?
I would assume casting a spell is harder than shouting.
No way.
This is no
I
match.
specifically get message from my. It's a racial trait. I've been doing that since I was a little kid.
So you gather up everybody in the backyard where Nelea sits on top of her dragonfly with her arms crossed and her legs folded. And that elvish gentleman is standing on the back patio watching from a distance. He says, "Okay, ask your questions."
Can you walk us through what you saw in the moments leading up to the incident?
I was right behind Fennec. All I saw, though, was Whisper started flapping its wings like it had just been spooked or something. Then the next moment, he was colliding with a wall.
And what did you do after you saw the crash?
As bad as I feel about it, I continued the race. I mean, people get wiped out all the time in races like this. It's not that uncommon. It's just
Yes, I
happened with
understand.
Whisper. I didn't have time to realize at the time how badly he got hit.
It was certainly a close finish between you and Klimek.
Yes, I was making my ascent to the Skyway, and then, well, Stillwind over here. She pats the dragonfly on its back. He ran out of stamina.
Can I insight check that?
Go ahead.
Oh, damn. Was on a 15. It rolled over to the 7. Just a 14 total.
You're not sure. I mean, maybe she's telling the truth. Maybe she's not.
Hmm.
It must be difficult only coming in second on such a prestigious race.
Happens all the time. Same thing with the last race, too. Lost the Phoenix.
Are we in the building?
No,
No, we're
you're
out back.
You're next to the pond.
Okay.
Oh.
And Klimek, have you raced with him often?
He's only been in 3 races. This is the 3rd. The last couple times I came out ahead. This time I guess he finally wisened up.
Did you notice anything off about Whisper or any of the other racers at the starting line?
Phoenix just told me hello, and told him hello back. He didn't seem strange. Neither did Whisper.
I see. Well, suspecting that Whisper was afflicted by a spell of some sort, although there's a great difficulty in determining the how and the what.
Yes, that's why the investigation was dropped.
I'm afraid there is one inconsistency. The accounting of the final moments of the race that I received in great detail suggested that you let Klimek bypass you in the final moments.
What would lead you to believe that? He looks at you quizzically.
I saw you in a vision of the memory releasing your reins rather than redoubling your effort to advance.
A vision?
With Counselor Haruti's memory, of the race. Quite a remarkable ritual, really. But the details were quite clear.
So Fruit was the one who was watching me?
Yes, he was watching the whole race in a vantage point near the tower.
Well, if Fruit saw me do that, I'm sure he would have brought it up with the guild.
Hmm.
In either
Perhaps
case, I
he
fail
didn't.
to see what this has to do with Phoenix. What was afterwards?
So as I said, my interest is in the truth. And if there is foul play involved that had compelled racers to act in a certain way, I understand Clemic has ties to shady individuals in the city.
No doubt.
But you would say you did not release your reins towards the end?
Like I said, ask Fruit. Apparently you know him. He was watching me.
He's told me he did not consider it remarkable enough to be noteworthy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Now I will give her the insight.
Go ahead.
Oh,
You notice that every time she says, well, first of all, she's been evasive for a bit. Seems to be evading the question. But you notice like the corner of her mouth like twitches ever so slightly as she says that.
well, we should not disturb you any further. I apologize for the unpleasantness. It was not our intent.
Yes, you should really reconsider your approach to questioning. Are we done?
Jack's like
What
opens his
became-
mouth and like just closes his mouth and then walks away.
Yes, let's be off.
A good day to you, miss. Thank you for your time.
She doesn't say anything and just watches you guys walk away.
That lady is super mean.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I was creeping around in her backyard, but man, she was gonna have the thing eat me.
yes, you should be careful with one who has a giant dragonfly at their command.
Well, I mean, I could have got out of there if I needed to.
I
I
do
wasn't gonna let the
appreciate.
thing eat me.
Yes, I do appreciate you didn't try to get out of there too hastily.
No, and I mean, it turned out for the good, right? We got to talk to her.
Yes,
I
she
assume she
does
was shooing
seem.
you guys away.
Yes, she does seem quite aware that she did do as I saw. Though it's still not clear as to why. Suppose we should go to that guild event that council had mentioned.
I mean, you guys want to play dress up and watch her house, see where she goes if she gets scared.
I could
Yes,
certainly do that. Pretend to be someone else for a bit.
yes, it'd be quite easy for Ari to remain here and keep an eye out. See if she rushes anywhere.
All right. Well, I'll meet you back at the office.
Sounds good.
Yes, Ari, just try not to get into trouble by your lonesome.
Oh, you know I won't. I
Has
always get
anybody
out of
come
here.
back to get me yet?
Yeah.
Oh, you've been with us.
They forgot about you.
What?
I
I thought
said that
you.
I went to come get you.
Yeah,
And I said that I
you did.
specifically stayed back so that I
Yeah,
wouldn't be.
and that's when I said I was coming to get you. Right
If you
after
wanted
that,
to, you
when
could
I
have
was trying
stayed
to
where
catch
you
up.
were, I guess.
Yeah, if you wanted to, I guess.
I mean, they had no idea I was there. That was the whole reason I stayed back, was to not be seen, asked to
Okay, well then,
investigate after.
Well, then Remy can also stay on the stakeout if he
yeah,
did
you can
not join
stake
this
out with Ari.
conversation.
Hell yeah.
So,
Except-
Remy and Ari are staying behind while the rest go and regroup back at the office.
Yes.
Except I seen a really cool pet shop on the way here.
Alright, well, it's getting a little late, so I think we're going to cut the session there.
All right.
I'm going to stop recording.